Inside a family-owned packaging company that's a lot more than paper.
Your Money in Business starts now.
They are a family-owned one-stop shop for all your wholesale packaging and equipment needs. And in this week's Behind the Biz report, Yolanda Vasquez finds out why they are so much more than paper.
They've been in business nearly 70 years, and since then, the Acme family has taken the Acme Paper and Supply company to new heights. Joining me now to talk a little bit more about this local company is Ron Atman. He is one of the co-owners. Ron, it's a pleasure to speak with you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Good to have you here.
You know, so as I'm learning more about your company, I'm finding out that there's probably a popcorn box or some type of paper product that we've all used that started off with your company. Tell us about that.
Well, that's our business. We distribute a variety of products, including disposable food service packaging, restaurant equipment and supplies, janitorial products, retail packaging, industrial packaging, and specialty products that people come to us and say, hey, we have a need, can you get it made for us? So that's what we do.
The business got started back in 1946 with your father, Edward Atman, down in downtown Baltimore. What was he thinking back then, and how has it grown by leaps and bounds since then?
Well, my father had grown up in his family's deli business. Atman's Deli had been in business since 1915. It's the oldest deli in the country, really. But he knew he didn't want to go into the deli business. So he'd gotten out of the war, and he was looking for a good business opportunity. So he knew he wanted a product that everybody needed, a product that didn't spoil, and a business where, if he was lucky, he would only have to work 5 days a week instead of the 7 days that he was used to seeing his parents work. So he explored different opportunities, spoke to a lot of different people, and he came up with the thought that there was a real need for paper products. Actually, paper products really hard to find back in 1946, and he was able, through his industriousness and his ingenuity, to be able to go out and find sources of supply. Started with 7 products at the time, and now we have over 15,000 products in our warehouse. So, you know, it's really something that we're quite proud of.
Absolutely amazing. He's 94. He's still getting around. Third generation, so you've got your kids involved and your brother's kids, obviously, right?
That's right. I have 3 of my sons in the business. I have Scott and Andy, who are involved in sales, Keith, who is involved in charge of all our purchasing, and my nephew Michael, who is also involved in sales.
All right, good stuff, Ron. Thank you so very much. We appreciate that. We're going to move over to your brother Steve to talk a little bit about the business side of things. Your brother obviously mentioned a number of industries that you're involved in, but your main thing is you guys drive the market. What exactly does that mean?
Well, we're truly a business-to-business company. So when we sit down and we talk to the different business segments and clients that we deal with, we try to figure out, by discussing with them, where the greatest value that we can bring to them is going to be. We're focused on 3 areas we're gauging from them. One is we're focusing on their environmental needs. 2 is we're focusing on their focus toward cleanliness and sanitation. And then we want to understand how important branding is to them so that they can differentiate themselves from any of their competition.
There's lots of sustainable options that are out there. One of them has to do with the DART densifier that one of the local hospitals are using. Tell us a little bit more about that.
You know, the densifier is something that exists today, but we were actually involved with a similar kind of program back in the early 80s. We worked with then the Baltimore Zoo with a program called Recycling It's Zooable. And at that time, what we did is we had separate trash collection or receptacles, and we would put the polystyrene in one receptacle, and we would put all the other trash in another receptacle. We would take that trash to a center that would sort through it and put it in some kind of a hopper, break it down, melt it down, and turn it back in actually to park benches that we would get back to the hospital so people could see the cycle that was occurring.
So that was 35 years ago. Tell me about the DART densifier and how it works now with styrofoam recycling.
So the densifier does a lot of what we did back then, but at the facility. So a good example could be you can take 7 or 8 cases, 7 or 8,000 foam cups, and you can put them in the densifier. At that time, the densifier would reduce that trash into a 15-inch cylinder that's about 15 inches high. And then they would just take that cylinder and they would package it up into a trash bag that's used for this purpose, and then they would send it to a center that would break it down, melt it down, and convert it into different kinds of recycled products.
You guys do so much. What are you most proud of over these 70 years being involved with this company?
All right, every day we're proud of something different. You know, what's really nice about our business is we can drive innovation with our clients all the time. We're doing it in those three areas, whether it's for healthcare, whether it's for hospitality, whether it's for school systems, whether it's for sports and entertainment or any kind of recreation site, government, all these different areas we're touching, and we're leaving a mark that's separating our clients from everybody else they're dealing with.
Lots of good stuff. Steve Atman, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And real quickly, if you can show, these are just some of the products that you might see around that originates with Acme Paper and Supply Company. All right, that'll wrap it up here from Savage, Maryland. I'm sure, Jeff, you probably used that popcorn box at some time or another. I'm going to toss it back to you in the studio.
Yolanda, thank you. Just ahead tonight.